What's going on, y'all? It's Jason Moore Reviews here, back at it again with another video. As you guys can see by the title, we're going to be doing another Outside 2 type of based video. And I thought coming into Outside 2, the booking wise, there were so many people that were booked correctly. Talked about that a lot in my predictions video. And another thing about being booked correctly is like where everyone is coming into it. If a win, a loss, how does this benefit them? Is it important? You know what I'm saying? Does it raise the stakes in any way? And that's why in this video we're going over the top 5 battlers that I believe need or strongly benefit from a win on the Outside 2 card. Need can be a funny word to people, right? Especially when we talk about top tiers, guys that just because they lose, they're not leaving the brand. I know this. We all know this, but there is guys that need to get their momentum back on track, need to prove something, or given a plate to prove something, or simply have a lot of momentum and can't afford to lose the matchup that's right in front of them. So for all those different reasons, we're going to be going over the 5 names I believe could really benefit from a win here or need it to further their career. Also, very similar to this, as a part of Let's Talk Battle Rap, LTBR, we did do a narrative piece talking about each battle and where each battler is coming in storyline-wise and why specifically they can need a win. Similar in this vein, so if you guys want, go to letstalkbattlerap.com. Good little write-up on each matchup on the Outside 2 card. So if you have a favorite battler on there that you want to see what we think about them going in, that would be the article to read. But without further ado, no honorable mentions. Let's get into the 5 people I believe need a win on the Outside 2 card. So starting out at number 5, we have someone that is really had a lot of momentum lately, and that is Fonz. Obviously has O-Red coming up, another top tier name going as he slowly fills out his resume, which we've talked about so many videos on this channel. For those of you that have seen me talk about Fonz, about how this year is about building that resume, getting all those challenging top-tier matchups back to back to back, and just building a full body of work to become top-tier yourself, right? I think he's right on that brink. And when it comes to the O-Red battle, for me, it's one of my premier battles of the weekend. I know for many it is. And it's going to be a tough matchup that I called pretty close, right? And battle rap's subjective. So when we talk wins, I might talk about 2-1 edge, and when we get there, you could say it's debatable, but we're just speaking in the video, what's that best case scenario for Fonz? And one thing that I still need to see Fonz overcome, even though he's impressed me so much to end 2022 and start 2023, he needs some more signature wins versus top names. Just ones that you can file in, like if we're looking at someone else, like in the puncher vein, like an Av, let's say, right? We can easily say, yo, Av beat Chess, right? Like that's a win that you can't take away from him. Av beat Clips, Arsenal at Danny. Like these are those signature wins that, what I'm saying, just when I look back at your career highlights, I need to be able to say, oh, these are the top names he's able to take out. I think O-Red is the perfect one. A Pen that's, former Cody at that. And to come into a matchup like this that everyone is going to be looking for the bar for bar stuff really heavy, for you to finally go against someone that is like a bar for bar top name. And in other instances like Av, JC, Danny, Rum was probably the best one, but people don't have Fonz on the winning side. A win versus O-Red continues the momentum he's had. It goes to show that he is indeed leveling up this year, and that he could carry that momentum into a bigger match like a Suge on Gnome or Twerk. I know he's talked about a few different names. So for those reasons, that's why I think even though if this is a great battle, it still benefits him. Fonz getting a W on O-Red is really something that is, if he's not going to get now, eventually he's going to need to get a top tier win like that to propel his name into top tier himself. So that's why we have Fonz at number 5. And at number 4, we have a little bit of a split here because both of these gentlemen really need a win, and they're pitted up against each other. And that is Mike P and Kid Chaos. A little trickier here, right? You have Kid Chaos, who I thought had a really good 2022. At the end, took that battle with Jerry on late prep when his DNA battle kind of got messed up. And I think that kind of hurt him. I think a lot of people have him losing that. It became closer on cam, but not that many people are going to rewatch that battle 3 or 4 times, right? So when a lot of people had Jerry, first watch live, that is stuck. And that kind of is an issue. It's always played Chaos a little bit, losing that first time around. And yes, it is closer and closer when you watch back as it is with Pens. But if it takes 4 or 5 times for you to win the battle, did you really win the battle? Now, that's not to say Chaos hasn't been winning. I thought he was in his winning ways in 2022 for the most part. And then you put him up against Mike. someone who started out losing to Geechee Gotti. Afterwards, he had a good battle with Chilla. I thought he lost pretty clear, to be honest with you. Yeah. But from there, he's had the Sharon battle, right? The Nun Nun battle, which I thought aged better for him. I did have him winning that when it came out on camera. Did some work on I battle with that, right? So now you get the Kid Chaos matchup, which we've talked about, pure rapping versus pure rapping. Mike is on that path where he wants Chess as a name he's called out, along with other top tiers. He said those are the names that he wants to battle right now. And to do that, you got to beat someone like a Kid Chaos. Kid Chaos is good. He's on that brink, but he's not top tier. If you want to go beat the other greats, you need to get wins on the guys that are those steps up. As for Chaos, he needs this win so he can continue to battle top tiers. For very similar reasons, they're pitted up against each other and need a win. It's hard to say who would, but this is what creates great battles, is I think both of these gentlemen desperately need a W in the win column to continue their momentum. As for the top three, at number 3, someone who's going to be projected as a huge overdog, and that is JC. Now, funny enough, when you look at JC and Klutz, the first thing you're not going to think is, oh, this is a must-win for JC, simply because he most likely is going to win, right? Right when you look at it. But coming off of the surf and hustle losses, right? Surf loss, I mean, career type of low, right? Tough moment in the man's career. Then you get to the hustle loss that it seems like he kind of took almost like a favor, very light work, and it was light indeed, right? So then he takes a long hiatus after. It's been months after, and now you come back against one of the more unknown talents of the new Crucible class. I think Klutz is good. He just hasn't had the opportunities. One battle he had was low, so he lost that, right? So you are projected as the overdog to win by 1,000,000, but you need to really go in there and do it. This is where JC has always picked up a large majority of his wins. These very overmatched 300 to 400 room, right? And this is gonna be on outside of those Born Legacy type of wins where he's built up the Glue Easies, the Mikes, the Sagas, the et cetera, et cetera. And now here, you see versus Klutz, he has another one of those, coming off of a 2-loss streak and I want to say a 2-battle losing streak, it's not that long, but coming off 2 battles in a row that he lost and a large break, there is no way that he could afford to have this debatable or lose. Is that going to happen? Probably not, you know what I'm saying? But there's just, JC needs to come in here and just get a really, really easy win and then move on to his next goals, because imagine if JC lost here or even had a debatable, internet's going to be on fire. So for those reasons, even though it's kind of a plain and simple one, he should win. JC most definitely needs to win this battle on outside too. And that leads us into the top 2. And at number 2, the runner-up spot, someone who was on the last outside card, didn't have his best performance. That is True Foe. I think Foe is good. There's potential there. You see Peaks versus Geechee in red. Then you see stuff like Royalty, the second battle versus Sheet happens, the Saga. It's a little bit all over the place, right? He's someone that just seems to play to his competition. When it's top-tier guys, he's playing up to it like a top tier. Except versus Av, which is this last battle, body bag type of loss. And then when he faces lower guys, he kind of plays to their tier. So now you got T-Top, another top-tier guy. And it's turning into this thing with Foe where it's like, as I said right there, I didn't even really explain battle rap concepts. I didn't explain the real talk. I didn't explain the bars. It really just all depends on what version of Foe we get. That's very annoying to predict. I think we all know that when it comes to people that choke or stumble often, it becomes, you talk less about the battles and just be like, well, if he's good, he's good. If he's bad, he's bad. And that's not really a fun way, you know what I'm saying, to look at battle rap. So Foe has some work here just in terms of proving people wrong again after he proved them right, and that's the problem with being inconsistent. Being good versus T-Top, or potentially having a debatable or beating T-Top, right? Just something in that positive direction to show, okay, 3 out of the 4 top tiers he's faced, he does good. Because if you come in here and you get cleared or killed by T-Top, similar to what happened to Av, those O-Red and Geechee ones start to look more like outliners, as there's more of this bulk of just straight-up losses for the most part. I'm not fully expecting that. He's got to be better than he was versus Av. Taking back-to-back clear losses, body losses versus shots that you're being given is a very easy way to get pushed to the bottom of the roster. I do think Foe is above that, but he's going to have to show that consistently, and he most definitely needs to, at the very least, be one of the better versions of themselves versus T-Top, but this needs to be a competitive battle for True Foe to keep moving up the ladder on the URL ranks. And that leaves us with the number 1, who needs to win most and outside, a name that probably some of you weren't expecting because he's probably close to the bottom of the card due to his matchup, but that is Jackboy Maine facing Authentic, probably going to be one of the more forgotten matchups, being that these are app drops. I bet there's a lot of people not going to watch this battle, so that's the messed up part. But with that being said, Jackboy coming off of what was supposed to be the K-Shine battle, right? He had the whole build-up, the most improved in 2021. Starts out the year rough with First Lady Flames, kind of does some weird stuff in the local leagues. Tank battle's not great, but he still got his shine shot, which I think he still, or had his shine shot on the table, which I think he deserved. A big vet played either way. Shine ended up being that to him, or supposed to be that to him. And even with the loss of momentum in 2022, I still think you got to give guys opportunities. Even if they're going to get murdered, you got to give them that chance to at least prove that they can disprove everyone. Shine battle doesn't go down because of the lupus attack, and now your next matchup is Authentic. So you go from possible K-Shine in New York to Authentic. Really unfortunate. Seems like a lot of it was out of his hands for the most part. It was out of his hands, you know what I'm saying? Prayers to his health always. But here he is trying to rebuild that momentum again, right? Versus Authentic starting from the bottom. And motivation can be tough. You get worried about a guy like this that just went from highs to lows, and at some point, you know, a talent might just be like, fuck it, this is bullshit. So hopefully we don't get that type of attitude from Jack in smaller rooms versus comp, like Oops, Steams, Fettuccine 20, right? These are some of his best performances. So name isn't always what brings out the best Jackboy. That's what you have to hope for here. But definitely in the kind of the peril that his career's in, just kind of hanging around in purgatory, especially after the K-Shine joint falling through so long ago. Even if it's not high impact, there is absolutely no reason that Jackboy Maine should not be walking out with a win after the outside 2 card. And for me, in a funny way, even though it's a sleeper, he's the guy who most definitely needs a win here. Or if this is a mucky battle or not good, are we moving towards shelving? Are we going to keep seeing his plate spaced out? This seems more like a battle not just to keep his momentum, but to kind of keep his, career intact in the current form of being booked. Just from the eye view, right? I'm not behind the scenes, but that's how it looks when a guy is just sitting for so long like that at random. For those reasons, that's why I think Jackboy Maine needs a win most on this outside 2 card. And that is my, 5 guys here, my 5 battlers who need a win or could strongly benefit, from a win on the outside 2 card. You guys let me know down below in the comments, who do you think really could benefit the most? Either if it's someone that I've mentioned here or someone that I didn't mention. Could be one of the rookies if you feel like they really need to climb the building blocks. But I think a lot of the times the onus is on the vets, or more so the up-and-comers who have been here for a minute but haven't fully broke through yet, because eventually they're looking at you for a breakout. It's it's a cutthroat industry, right? So you're either going to get it done or you're not going to get it done, and one day they're going to decide maybe you're just never going to get it done and move on. So that's why you have to take opportunities like this and make the most of it, especially when people are like, what are we doing with them? Which it seems like it's a lot of names, the outside 2 card matchup wise. What are we doing with them? Where do they go from here? This is the one that determines if you go forward in your path or backwards in your path for the most part. But like I said, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know who you guys think would need a win most in the outside 2 card. And it's been J Smo Reviews again, y'all. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Peace.